What is going on, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood Undead King here, back with another episode of the Undead Lair. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about something that I've been asked probably about, I don't know, at least 8 million fucking times in my life. And that is, why do you listen to metal? Why are you a metalhead? Why do you enjoy that? It's just screaming. You can't even understand what they're saying. It just sounds like noise. Why are they so angry? Why do they hate each other? Are you a murderer? Do you want to be a murderer? Do you worship Satan? Do you sacrifice goats? Do you sacrifice cats? I'm keeping my kids away from you. All those stupid fucking ignorant questions that I've heard a million times, and if you're a metalhead, you've heard them too. It's just one of those things that people can't seem to understand why we love metal. So I'm going to do a little bit of explaining today, and I'm going to try and help people to understand why we love metal. So let's get to it. So, to properly explain this, let me give a little bit of background. So, growing up, I listened to, like classic heavy metal. I listened to, Sabbath, and Iron Maiden, and that kind of stuff, that classic heavy metal, and I loved it. I still do love it to this day. I mean, fucking Maiden right there. Like Sabbath is on the back, I think, maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there. But yeah, I've got, I still to this day I love those bands. I do. And so because I was raised on that and hard rock, I was raised on a lot of 80s glam and stuff like that, and GNR, Whitesnake, Wasp, Rat, stuff like that. So it was probably only natural that eventually I was going to drift into heavy metal. And then in about 2007, I think it was, a friend of mine, his cousin, introduced me to As I Lay Dying. You see him wearing their shirt right now. As I Lay Dying, amazing metalcore band. If you've never heard them before, if you've been living under a rock, I don't know, go look them up, go listen to them right now. But As I Lay Dying got me into the heavier side of metal, and then from As I Lay Dying I got into like Amon Amarth, and then into Slipknot a bit for a while, and then I got into, I just started slipping deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole until where I am now, where I love black metal and death metal. I'm a huge thrash fan, just all those different things. So that first band to get me into everything, though, was As I Lay Dying. They got me into all the heavy stuff. So, that's the history, basically, of how I got into heavy metal, and, what I'm into now, basically. But, there's a reason why I love metal so much. And the reason is actually pretty simple. It's kind of like family. It gives you that comfortable feeling of, I'm okay. I'm surrounded by people that know me. I'm surrounded by people that, that I get. And to give you an example of this, I went to an As I Lay Dying show recently. It was As I Lay Dying, Phineas, Frostcoffin, and Currents. I saw them in Baton Rouge about 3 weeks ago. And when we got to the show, me and my buddy were standing outside, and we're just talking, and we're bullshitting about something, and this other guy overheard us talking. He was like, hey, well, speaking of that, and he starts talking to us. And then he starts telling us about how when he saw Amon Amarth at that same venue, it was a sick show and all this other stuff, and that he saw Death Angel and Anthrax there a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, well, shit, man, I'm going to start coming to this place more often. And then this guy and his wife start talking to us after that on the side of them, and start talking to us and that other guy, and then before you know it, we're all standing next to each other throughout the whole show. So it's just like, you can not know a person, you cannot know anything about that person, you can have nothing to do with them whatsoever, you could not even, not even want to talk to them, and you're going to end up being friends. You're going to end up in that friendly environment. You're going to end up talking to each other. You're going to end up experiencing that with each other, because that's just what metal does. Metal brings people together. And yeah, you might not be able to understand what they're saying all the time. I'm fine with that. The instrumental side of it to me is just as important as the lyrical side. And so if I can understand them, awesome. If I can't, oh well, I don't care. I listen to it anyways because it sounds good. It sounds good to me. And most of the time, too, as you listen to music more and more and more, you start to be able to understand what they're saying. You start to be able to, kind of speak their language, I guess you could say. Like with Amon Amarth. I've been listening to Amon Amarth for so long now that I can understand Johan's screams with little to no effort. Because he's been... I've been listening to his music for so long now that, you know, it's not an issue for me anymore. And so, same thing like with As I Lie Dying, with, you know, Slipknot, and Behemoth. I'm getting there with Behemoth. But there's, you know, there's a lot of times where, even if I can't understand what they're saying, I'm still going to sit there and enjoy the song. I'm still going to sit there and enjoy the music. Cannibal Corpse is a big thing to me. I can't understand a lot of what Corpse Grinder's saying. But I enjoy Cannibal Corpse. So I keep listening to Cannibal Corpse. And, you know, it's one of those things where even if I was completely clueless and, you know, I couldn't understand anything at all, I didn't know what the song title was, I didn't know anything, I'm still going to enjoy the song. Because the song is still good. The music is still good. And so, between that, and also, there's another thing about metal that kind of is going to sound super edgy and super fucking cringe, but it scares people away. You know, it's like a... That's a bad way to put it. It's basically, if somebody is... if somebody's trying to, you know, to be around you for whatever reason, and they're just faking it, you put on heavy metal, usually they leave. You know, when you put on heavy metal in a bar, people leave, or people will change it. It's one of those things that just, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's not normal, but people don't see it as normal, even though it is. It's just still just music. But people don't see it as that. People see it as some sort of movement. And to an extent, I believe it is. I believe it's a lifestyle. You know, it's it kind of takes over a little bit. As you can see, you can look around my room and you can see the guitars hanging on the wall. You can see my battle vest, all the band shirts and everything. All I wear is black. You know, so I mean, it kind of does take over your life to an extent, and it is a lifestyle to an extent. But at the same time, it's still just music. And it can speak to you in different ways, of course. You know, I'm a big country fan, too. I grew up in the South, so I'm a big country fan. Old country, not this new fucking pop bullshit they got now. But country's the same way. You know, country will speak to you. And it's relatable. You know, it's like a lot of heavy metal. People talking about, oh, well, it's just talking about murdering people and all. And some of the songs, yeah, some bands, you know, that's their niche. Cannibal Corpse. All their music is about fucking murdering people or ripping out their entrails. I can't really relate to that, but it sounds good, so I listen to it. But then there's bands like Avenged Sevenfold. You give it all the hate you want. Avenged Sevenfold is my favorite fucking band of all time. And Avenged Sevenfold has such meaningful lyrics that when I listen to their music, I can relate to that because they have such meaningful lyrics. As I Lie Dying, they have such meaningful lyrics that I can relate to everything they're saying because they have such meaningful lyrics and the songs are so meaningful. But, you know, that's another thing, is that I don't have to be able to relate to a song to be able to enjoy it. One of my favorite Cannibal Corpse songs, Shedding My Human Skin, off of Red Before Black. And that song is nowhere near relatable to me, but I like it. Pull the Plug by Death Leprosy is my favorite fucking Death album, and Pull the Plug is easily my favorite Death song. And I can't relate to that at all, but I enjoy the song because it sounds good. It sounds fucking brutal. And because of that, I enjoy it. I listen to it. So I think people like to shy away from things they don't know and things that they don't understand. It's human nature. You like to make up excuses for why you can't be around something when you don't understand what it is. When you don't understand or you don't want to understand, then you make up things to try and explain it because you're afraid of understanding it. And then it happens a lot of the times with people with heavy metal and, you know, any type of metal in that entire genre. You know, people, any kind of hard music, honestly, hard rock, punk rock, heavy metal, black metal, death metal, thrash metal, black and death, black and thrash, you know, all the subgenres and everything. People don't want to understand it. They're so closed-minded and they're so set in their ways that they refuse to try and understand it. And so because of that, they end up in this bubble of bullshit. And they live inside of this bubble of bullshit to avoid understanding what they don't like, or what they're afraid of, I guess you could say. I feel like that happens a lot with heavy metal, is that people are they're so afraid of understanding it, and they're so afraid that they might like it, that they stray away from it, because they feel like metal has this very bad negative connotation with it. When you got situations like, just recently in Louisiana, there were 3 churches burned down, and they tried to pin it on black metal. They said the kid listens to black metal and he was influenced by the music and all this other stuff, and that's why he burned down the churches. No, he burned down churches because he's a fucking asshole. Okay, there was no influence of black metal. There was no influence of no. He's a fucked up individual with a fucked up mind, and that's why he burned down churches. So, you know, people get scared by that kind of stuff because metal has always been the fall child. It's always been, you know, it's been the black sheep of the musical family, and so when something bad happens, just blame it on heavy metal. Blame it on metal. Some kid fucking. There's a pair of kids, I think it was, in the early 2000s, they killed this guy, and they said they did it because of Slipknot's lyrics. Because of Slipknot's song Disaster Piece, where the lyrics say, I'm gonna slit your throat and fuck the wound. And they say because of that, that's why they killed the guy. And, like, no, you killed the guy because you're a fucked up fuck. You know, it had nothing to do with music. You can blame it on music if you want to, but it had nothing to do with music. This dude, Chris Watts, he killed his fucking wife and his 3 kids. And they say, oh, well, right after he killed him, he looked up the lyrics to Battery by Metallica. I'm like, the lyrics literally say, cannot kill the family. Like, come on, man. Like, this shit, it's one of those things where it's very easy to blame heavy metal because it already is so dark and so angry sounding that it's so easy to blame it, because when something dark and angry happens, well, they just go hand in hand, don't they? So you can just blame heavy metal and let them take the fall for it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent. This video is just been to basically explain why do I love metal and why am I a metalhead, and I hope that maybe some other metalheads can kind of relate to what I'm saying and relate, you know. And if I had some advice for some young metalheads, would basically be, just fuck everybody else, man. Just fucking do what you want. Listen to the music you want. Do what the fuck you want. Work the job you want. Live the life you want. You want to be in a fucking band? Go be in a fucking band, man. You want to make a battle vest? Make a fucking battle vest, dude. You want to listen to fucking Cannibal Corpse or Abath or Immortal, Emperor, Darkthrone, whatever. You want to listen to some dark fucking shit? Listen to some dark fucking shit, because it's your life. It's your life only. And no one can tell you how to live your life. Only you can tell you how to live your life. And so, just don't be influenced by other people, man. Just fuck all those people. Just fuck all those people. And just, you know, do what you want. And that goes out to anybody. A young boy that wants to listen to metal, a young girl that wants to listen to metal, a young black kid, a young white kid, a young Mexican kid, a young Asian kid. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Metal has no... Metal doesn't... I'm not going to say it doesn't see color, but it doesn't care about color. You know, whether you're black, white, fucking pink with purple polka dots, you'll be accepted into the family just the same. Because we're all outcasts. We're all rejects. We're all fucking, you know, people that were cast out of society. You know, we were the people that didn't fit in anywhere else, and that's why we fell into metal. Maybe not the only reason why, but part of the reason why. So, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and don't forget to always spread the metal.